Hallo, hallo, geht das? Funktioniert das? Oder geht da gar nichts? Hallo, 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 geht das? Funktioniert das? Oder geht da gar nichts? Hallo, 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 geht das? Funktioniert das? Oder geht da gar nichts? Okay, interessant. Geht das? Funktioniert das? Ich höre mich doppelt, warum auch immer. Okay, interessant. Ich höre mich doppelt, warum auch immer. Okay, interessant. Ich höre mich doppelt, warum auch immer. Okay, interessant. Ich höre mich doppelt, warum auch immer. Pimax NFTs, of course. Okay, they're using restreamed it from Midnight.
Welcome to Pimax Frontier. I'm Martin, and with my colleagues and our partners, we'll take you through some big announcements coming from Pimax. Today, we'll not just have one, but several new products to announce. Actually, the whole presentation is filled with new releases right until the end. Let's look back for a moment. The Pimax Crystal is the first VR headset in the third generation of Pimax products. Each Pimax headset has been innovative in its own way, starting with the 4K in 2015, followed by the 5K and the 8K. The Crystal has been received really well and is used by designers, flight and racing simmers, commercial pilots, and VR enthusiasts all around the world. Let's hear from some VR industry experts.
Hi, I'm Alan Truly, a freelancer covering VR for Digital Trends and Mixed. I'd recommend the Pimax Crystal to anyone looking for the sharpest consumer VR headset available for Windows PCs.
This is Michel from Overtake.gg, and the Pimax Crystal, with its clarity and FOV, really takes sim racing to the next level.
Hello everyone, it's Skill here from the Grim Reapers. And I think with its image quality and its versatility, the Pimax Crystal is the best VR headset currently available for PC flight simming.
Hi, my name's Callum from FS Elite, and if you're into flight sims, then the Pimax Crystal is a great VR headset for you to use. In our review, we said it had great specs, we had amazing visuals, amazing sound, and really high clarity and a great field of view.
Hey, I'm Dan Suzuki. I cover racing simulations, and the Crystal's clarity and resolution is so high that it can rival triple screens.
Hey everyone, Wags here from Eagle Dynamics. In 2024, the Pimax Crystal is my headset of VR flying for DCS. Thanks to its great resolution inside and outside the cockpit, and also its great performance thanks to DCS-supported foveated rendering.
Hey, I'm Dan Suzuki. I cover
The Crystal is the first VR headset to use aspheric glass lenses, allowing for incredible clarity never seen before. This got us numerous nominations and awards, including the 2024 CES Innovation Award. Glass lenses are a bit harder to make and a bit heavier in weight, but the benefits are huge. The resolving power is just much higher with glass lenses. That means the ability to differentiate two lines in an object. In VR terms, that refers to a much higher clarity. Not just that, but the eye box of aspheric glass lenses is bigger compared to plastic lenses. Some call it the sweet spot. Everyone's eye shape is different, and the eyes are also spheres that are constantly moving around, requiring specific optical properties to correct eye movements. Our glass lenses are better adapted to reduce optical distortions, often called pupil swim. Crystal is not a small form factor headset, mainly because we wanted to have more room to accommodate options and features. The user can even wear glasses inside, and there's space for eye relief. Also, the current design is more comfortable than the soft strap design. And it's a very modular VR headset. It's the basis of our future HMDs, and it's a proven product from which we can add or change features. We're very confident of using Pimax Crystal as a foundation. And we're not done yet.
A lot of people asked us why we put a Qualcomm XR2 chip, battery and standalone features into the Crystal. Well, the Crystal from the start has been designed to be a wireless PC VR headset to take on a challenge. High fidelity at full resolution, low latency, indistinguishable from tethered PC VR. So let's look at our 60D Airlink.
So this is a battery pack. All right.
For what?
Low latency. So how does it look?
This is incredible. Let's look at our 60D Airlink.
Wow, this is gorgeous.
From your controllers to your PC, while your PC creates the visuals and sends them back to the headset. Unlike previous WiGig solutions, you don't need to assemble any parts in your computer, meaning this will also work on laptops. And unlike other solutions before, such as the HTC wireless adapter or the Novio for the Valve Index or the TP-Cast for the Oculus Rift, our 60D Airlink is an integrated solution. It's not an afterthought put onto the headset. All parts in the headset are designed to work together. So it adds little weight, it's very easy installation, and it uses the headset's integrated battery and chipset. And it just looks so much more elegant. We would like to remind you why we really wanted to develop the 60D Airlink module. We can focus on two aspects, the user case and the technical aspect. First, the user case. VR is all about immersion, and having a wire, in some cases, is not that ideal. For VR games with a lot of movement, you either need a pulley setup or always think about where you are standing. Even turning around is difficult as you may twist or damage the cable. Many people develop a cable sense while in VR, meaning that even though you are immersed in another world, you're still thinking about where the cable is in relation to your real feet. That sense is always there. And to go untethered means you can turn around, jump, dance, walk around freely without having to think about a cable. It's not just freedom for your body, but also for your mind. This is really so much more immersive. Of course, having a wire is not a problem for many VR content, such as movies or seated sims. Tethered and wireless both have benefits, but freedom means the ability to choose. Then there's the technical aspect. We found that many VR gamers today use standard Wi-Fi protocols to play PC VR games, but this approach diminishes much of the benefits of PC VR technology. Compression caused by bandwidth limitations affects the visual quality of PC VR, and latency diminishes the smoothness of the frame rate. Low latency isn't just much more immersive and better for interaction with the game, it can also prevent motion sickness. And it's not even so much about the resolution of the game or the panels in your VR headset, but compression, artifacts, and latency caused by limited bandwidth when using standard Wi-Fi data transfer. Obviously, the whole goal is to have the same visual experience as using a wire. And for wireless, that just means high resolution, high refresh rates, minimal compression required, no compression artifacts, low latency, no glitches, and a stable connection. And all of this requires high bandwidth. Even if you use Wi-Fi 6E, the fastest form of Wi-Fi available for VR headsets now, and you optimize it perfectly, well then still the bandwidth is so limited that the visuals you receive in your headset are heavily compressed, regardless of how high your rendered resolution is. Not only that, Many people experience noticeable latency that can significantly undermine your gaming experience. WiGig technology is different from Wi-Fi 6E because it transmits on the 60 GHz frequency, while Wi-Fi uses 2.4, 5 or 6 GHz. These are commonly used frequencies full of signal interference from loads of other devices. The 60 GHz frequency isn't just much faster, it has no signal congestion, even more because we're creating a dedicated network specifically for your computer with the headset. This means there's minimal signal interference and a much bigger bandwidth, so we can carry much more information. So what can we say about our Airlink then? It supports the full resolution of the Pimax Crystal at 2880 by 2880 per eye, and it does so at 90 Hz refresh rate. It has ultra-low latency, and the expected battery life is 2 to 3 hours. This is the best solution for untethered PC VR right now. We're ready for you to make a reservation, as we're shipping to customers in Q3 this year. We've also set the price, plus a Crystal plus Airlink bundle will be available, and will provide current Crystal users with a discount.
And we're not done yet. The Crystal still provides the highest pixel per degree for consumer VR out there. The Crystal is our first headset that can reach VR 3.0 standard. This is a standard we shared before. For us, that's visuals bordering human vision, more ways to interact with VR, and the freedom to choose how you wish to enjoy VR. In our roadmap going forward with new products, we always stay true to those values. Since the Crystal has been shipped to users around the world for various use cases, we have collected a lot of feedback and suggestions, and we made numerous software improvements and optimizations based on your input. Now we know what you want. A true next-gen flagship headset packs an even higher pixel count, a wider field of view, and a greater focus on PC VR in particular, a higher clarity, greater realism, and a more immersive experience. You may see where this is going. At the same time, we also gain experience from previous VR headsets, not just developing the hardware and software, but all facets of conducting ourselves as a company. And we want to give our users flexibility, as we always done that. The Crystal can be used with lighthouse tracking as well as inside-out tracking, purchased with or without controllers or with hand tracking module. It has also 3 different lens options and dozens of settings in the Pimax Play software. Today, we go even further. Built on the magnesium exoskeleton, we've developed a headset based on the Crystal current technology that takes the key specs even further. You can call it Super. Purchased with or without controllers or with hand tracking module. It has also 3 different lens options. These are the panels. The Crystal Super uses the latest QLED panel technology with a total amount of 29.5 million pixels. That's way more than the Crystal and even more than the Apple Vision Pro. That translates to a resolution of 3840 x 3840 pixels per eye. We love QLED technology for the fantastic color range it provides, and thanks to our aspheric glass lenses, combined with the panel's brightness of 200 nits, the colors are now even more vibrant. With the aspheric glass lenses, nearly all of the brightness and the colors will reach your eyes. The panels are made of several layers, more than we show here. One of the downsides of conventional LCD and QLED panels is that the whole panel is backlit, which means that areas that should be black appears as dark gray. That's why our QLED panels has a mini LED back panel with 912 zones per eye. that can turn off and on individually. The amount of local dimming zone have increased by 58% compared to the panels of the Crystal. So for instance, if you're racing or flying in the air at night, the local dimming makes your environment look realistically dark and convincing. The Crystal Super uses next-generation aspheric glass lenses, and they're beautiful. Compared to the Crystal optics, the surface of the new glass lenses is 30% bigger, and it also provides a significantly bigger field of view. Not just that, the Crystal Super also has interchangeable lenses. We're calling it Interchangeable Lenses 2.0. An additional vertical protection layer has been added for double protection against dust coming into the lens barrel. The tilted protection layer remains, as it's also used for eye tracking. The default Crystal Super lenses provide a super wide field of view at an image quality of 50 ppd or pixels per degree. Then we also have additional lenses with even higher fidelity and greater sharpness at 57 ppd. At the cost of some field of view. The Crystal Super also comes with eye tracking. One of the benefits of eye tracking is that it enables auto IPV that automatically adjusts the correct lens position for your eyes. Another benefit is dynamic foveated rendering, which can give up to 50% frame rate boost in certain games. If you are wondering how your computer can render VR games with high graphics settings and native resolution of 3840 x 3840 pixels per eye while maintaining the high frame rate, well, this is how. The Pimax Crystal Super is a PC VR-only headset and does not have a battery for wireless connection. The power supply is provided through the DisplayPort cable. The headset has 4 external cameras dedicated for inside-out tracking that tracks 6 degrees of freedom head movements as well as controllers. So you don't need to buy external base stations for tracking, which helps save on expenses as well as the hassle of installing base stations. Like the Crystal, the new Crystal Super has a replaceable front cover. So if you want to use the Lighthouse base stations for tracking of the headset and compatible Lighthouse controllers, you can do so with an optional Lighthouse faceplate. We're still working on the mixed reality mode for full color pass-through using built-in cameras for the MR cover accessory. The Crystal Super can also use it when it's out. In fact, we were in an advanced development stage, but we ended up increasing our technical requirements since we first announced it, mainly to increase the pass-through image quality and resolution, especially since the Apple Vision Pro came out. Now, let's look at the field of view. While the PPD or pixel per degree of Crystal Super is much higher than before, the maximum field of view has also been increased by a large margin compared to the Pimax Crystal, even when used with its wide field of view lenses. The majority of today's PC VR headsets have around 100 degrees of horizontal field of view, while premium enterprise headsets offer around 120 degrees of horizontal field of view. With the default lenses of the Pimax Crystal Super, we surpassed that. The same applies for vertical field of view, which is now significantly improved. In terms of the pixel per degree amount, using the default lenses of Crystal Super, we are achieving approximately 50 ppd. If you want even higher clarity, you can swap to optional lenses that can achieve 57 ppd. That level of pixel density is very close to human vision, which normally is rated around 60 ppd. So the Crystal Super is super in field of view, PPD and weight. But what will it cost? We have designed this headset to have or even surpass enterprise performance specifications tailored for VR enthusiasts and prosumers around the world who wants the best high-end PC VR headset at a reasonable price. And we'll be selling the Crystal Super for $17.99 US. So there it lines up. Pretty nice, isn't it? This price includes a pair of 6-degree freedom controllers, which have multiple triggers, analog joysticks, several buttons, an infrared tracking ring, and haptic feedback. But that's not everything. At Pimax, we always want to go where no one has gone before. So there's one more thing. We spoke about QLED panels, but what about OLED or micro OLED? A lot of people saw the Apple Vision Pro and wondered if Pimax would ever develop a micro OLED headset, especially with glass lenses. The Apple Vision Pro has great features and clarity, but it isn't a PC VR headset. And it's a bit sad that such a great VR headset cannot be used natively for all those great PC VR games and simulators. We have listened to your feedback and obviously considered this. Let's first look at the differences, starting with the micro OLED advantages. Micro OLED have higher pixel density. Even though there's no screen door effect on the crystal QLED panels, the pixel density of the micro OLED panel is even higher. Furthermore, when it comes to the contrast and black levels, micro OLED pixels can be turned completely off individually, meaning pixels can be true black down to the individual pixel. And even though our QLED panel have 912 local dimming zones per eye, which also provides true blacks, micro OLED panels do take the edge regarding blacks and contrast ratios. Now, let's look at the micro OLED disadvantages. Micro OLED technology is still relatively new and expensive to manufacture, with low yield, making these displays pricier and with limited supply. Micro OLED panels are very small, and due to the manufacturing equipment, the screen cannot exceed 1.5 inches, so the field of view cannot be that large. Micro OLED panels are very bright, but usually they're matched with the resin pancake lenses, so the amount of light that actually reaches the user's eye is very low. How about QLED panel advantages then? QLED is currently the most advanced screen technology for VR. Except for the contrast ratio, which is lower than micro OLED, all the other specs are better with QLED. So yeah, QLED offers excellent color accuracy and a much wider color range, producing a more vibrant and realistic VR experience. They're also very bright when coupled with aspheric glass lenses. QLED panels are physically bigger, which is in fact an advantage because it gives us room to achieve a wider field of view. Lastly, they're more affordable. So what panel technology should we really use? There is clearly no winner here. Both panel technologies have different benefits depending on the use case. We also often discuss this internally, and we found out that maybe it's best to let you decide this for yourself. But how to do that then? Putting micro OLED displays in a PC VR headset with glass lenses is a reasonable option. But we don't want you to buy two separate headsets for different use cases. It's a bit of a waste, not just for your wallet, but also for the environment. We cannot put them together, or can we? Well, our solution is this. But how to do that then? Putting micro OLED displays in a PC VR headset with glass lenses is a reasonable option, but we don't want you to try to choose. It's a bit of a waste, not just for your wallet, but also for the environment. We cannot put them together. Did you see that? I am happy to tell you that the Pimax R&D team has been working hard to create the world's first replaceable optical engine head-mounted display patented by Pimax. The purpose of this modular design is to allow great user flexibility and options. You can both get the micro OLED and QLED version of the Crystal Super and easily swap between them by quickly replacing an optical engine, which is a single detachable module. The optical engine refers to both the panel and the lenses. So let's say you want to watch a movie. You put in the micro OLED module for the highest possible clarity and black levels. But when you go sim racing and you need more field of view, you simply swap back to the Crystal Super QLED module. So what's up with that? Has Pimax gone crazy inventing this? Maybe not so much. There are several reasons for this approach. This saves you money because you don't need to buy two separate headsets. VR enthusiasts do have a hard time choosing. In fact, many of you own more than 10 VR headsets. It gives a longer life cycle for product owners, and it's better for the environment. It comes with virtually no extra cost or downsides. Also, we already know users love to mod the headsets. And this allows for additional feature add-ons and optional modules. Additionally, this ensures cheaper and easier repairs and replacements of parts. Now, let's look at our micro OLED panel. It's super high-res, has a response time of microseconds, high definition, high refresh rate, high contrast, and the panels are thin and light. Each pixel can turn on and off individually, so the black parts of the image turns completely black down to the individual pixel. And all this is specifically made with PCVR in mind. The pixel pitch, or rather the distance between dots on the display, is also really small, allowing for very high pixel density. Even though QLED version of Pimax Crystal Super and the Pimax Crystal have no visible screen door effect, the PPD on the Crystal Super Micro OLED is even higher. Pixels and colors neatly blend into each other, bordering human vision. We use glass pancake lenses on the micro OLED optical engine. In fact, Pimax is the only VR manufacturer using glass lenses. Our unique lens design has multiple benefits, mainly a bigger field of view than conventional pancake lenses. Since we use glass lenses, we do minimize and sometimes even completely eliminate a lot of optical issues and difficulties. No more reflections, no God rays, glass lenses have zero glare, there's no tunnel vision, they allow for a bigger eye box or sweet spot. They have a high resolving power and high light transmittance, meaning higher brightness for the user. Lastly, glass lenses have increased hardness, higher durability, and more corrosion-resistant material. This headset is made for PCVR, so you're likely using it with your computer. Portability and form factors are not key priorities for us, while comfort and visual quality are. It's the first micro OLED headset with glass lenses. For extreme clarity, a big sweet spot, no glare, no ghosting, with high brightness and a bigger field of view than any other headset with pancake lenses. Crystal Super is bigger than some other micro OLED headsets, although we have reduced weight, and for us that's more important than reducing size. We make zero compromises on visual quality this way. The headset strap is rigid, made for comfort and counterweight, not for portability or travels. Our design has no overheating issues and does not need additional fans or active cooling. We also have packed other great features, such as integrated high-quality audio and inside-out tracking, so you don't need to use base stations. Also, the Crystal Super Micro OLED can run native resolution with maximum possible refresh rate. Finally, you can change the light on the front cover. Here we show green light for QLED and blue light for micro OLED. But you can also change the light color manually within the Pimax Play software. So that's the Crystal Super with our most advanced technology, the world's first patented interchangeable optical engine for a VR headset. It's available with QLED and micro-OLED displays, integrated audio, 2 microphones, and both versions have glass lenses. The Crystal Super pushes the boundaries of what is possible in a VR headset. The QLED version is available for $17.99 US, and you can buy the micro OLED version for $19.99 US. That's for the headset including controllers and the optical engine. But you can also buy the full bundle, which is one headset and both optical engines for $23.99 US. That sounds like a great deal to me. We evaluate and we're thankful to all our Crystal users. Therefore, we're offering all Pimax Crystal owners a $399 US discount when they order any of the 3 Crystal Super options. And you can reserve your Crystal Super already now.
So we have the Crystal that is soon going wireless. Then we have developed the Crystal Super to achieve an even higher resolution, higher clarity and bigger FOV for tethered PC VR. But where else can we go? Crystal's magnesium exoskeleton and everything we've learned from it serves as a fantastic foundation. And we can do so much more with this. We can remove functions and make it lighter. So many PC VR gamers out there are using the Pimax Crystal, and not all of them show up in Steam VR survey statistics. People playing iRacing, Microsoft Flight Simulator or DCS, they often skip Steam VR altogether and run their simulations or games through OpenXR runtime, which adds extra performance and unique features. Still, we want to make the Crystal and its clarity available to more PC VR gamers. We're thinking about Quest 2 users, HP Reverb G2, Rift S, the Valve Index. If they consider a headset upgrade, where do they go to? Many headsets that were previously available to them have been discontinued. Therefore, we decided we want to provide the ultimate VR headset for everyone. And for us, that's 4 main criteria. Low cost, great clarity with a super high pixel amount, good FOV, and a straightforward PC VR headset. Here we go. Where do they go to? Many headsets that were previously available to them have been discontinued. Therefore, we decided we want to provide the ultimate VR headset. For us, that's 4 main criteria. Low cost, great clarity with a super high pixel amount, good FOV, and a straightforward PC VR headset. Here we go. So there you have it, the Pimax Crystal Lite. A fantastic PC VR headset, accessible to the mainstream PC VR user. It's affordable, and we'll get to the price. It comes with high-end technology that surpasses the mainstream level of clarity. Our goal is always to push boundaries in VR. That often means bigger FOV, better lenses, higher refresh rates, higher pixel count, and new features. But this time, we've taken an approach into another direction, a lower price. Pimax Crystal Lite is available starting at a pretty low price. It's a pure PC VR headset and a simplified user experience. All the core functions needed are there, and we've reduced the weight by 30% compared to the Pimax Crystal. Ergonomics have also been optimized with the adjustment of the headband, improvement of the rear foam, and a reduction of weight. Pimax Crystal Lite is available starting at a pretty low price. We still use the same glass lenses as on the Pimax Crystal with a pixel density of 35 ppd, but they're not interchangeable on the Pimax Crystal Lite. Pimax Crystal Lite needs no battery, as the power is supplied through the DisplayPort cable. The headset and controllers are tracked with built-in 6 degrees of freedom inside-out tracking, so you don't need to buy any base stations. However, if you do want to use a different method of tracking, you can swap on the Lighthouse faceplate and use base stations, as well as base station controllers, such as the Pimax Sword. Again, we want to bring high-end VR to as many people as possible, but we know that not everybody has a super high-end PC and a graphics card. So we're doing 3 things to improve the performance. The first is fixed foveated rendering 2.0 in Pimax Play. We have to use fixed foveated because the Crystal Lite has no eye tracking to save on cost. With fixed foveated rendering, we can still get huge performance gains. It's quite easy to get used to, and the experience is very similar. When running games with fixed foveated rendering enabled, the center part of your view renders full resolution, while the peripheral vision is rendered in slightly lower fidelity. You barely notice this, but this approach can give you 10 to 30% frame rate boost. Fixed foveated rendering 2.0 will be available for Crystal Light inside our Pimax Play software, including customization options. Secondly, we will offer upscaling. If you have a high-end or mid-range GPU, you can run most games in native resolution. But with a low-end GPU such as the RTX 2060, you can choose to run the Crystal Light at a resolution of 2160 by 2160 pixels per eye, which is the resolution of the HP Reverb T2, but then upscale to 2880 by 2880. Even if you run a game at a lower resolution, you still benefit from Crystal Light's super high resolution panels because of the high pixel density and the lack of any screen door effect. And the colors are just so good. Thirdly, Pimax Play has several refresh rate options such as 60, 72, 90 and 120 Hz. You can also set a frame rate lock so that the frame rate stays stable and smooth. Lastly, the Crystal Light also comes with controllers that pack 6 degrees of freedom tracking with triggers, joysticks, several buttons, as well as haptic feedback. So the Crystal Light comes in two versions, one without local dimming and one with local dimming for a slightly higher price. Both have glass spheric lenses and both run at a native resolution of 2880 by 2880 pixels per eye, unless you use its optional upscaling. It has multiple refresh rate options from 60 to 120 Hz. It has upscaling technology as well as support for fixed foveated rendering 2.0. The Crystal Light brings the core experience of the Crystal at a much more affordable price, as well as a lighter package. The Crystal still has benefits in that it has eye tracking and it's compatible with the 60T Airlink for wireless PCVR, as well as standalone features. You can pre-order the Pimax Crystal Light now. We expect to ship the first batch at the end of May 2024.
As you know, we're never done. We want to go where no one has gone before. We push technological boundaries in VR. Pimax is an R&D company at heart. Pimax team is composed of top-class engineers and scientists who are passionate about VR technology. And we are always working on new innovation for VR. As mentioned before, we are working on the MR cover with full color pass-through and mixed reality features. We are trying out different options for future controllers. The 12K is also still under development, and will release an update on the blog soon. As mentioned before,
for now, this is our lineup. Crystal Super is our new flagship headset for tethered high-end PC VR users. And the Crystal Light is the Crystal experience, more affordable for a bigger audience. The Crystal with the 60G Airlink module is the best option for wireless VR, and we're convinced that this will remain the best-in-class solution for the next upcoming years. Wireless PC VR in full resolution, 2880 by 2880 pixels at 90 Hz. Only the Crystal will support this. We will continue developing the Crystal in the next coming years, and new accessories will continue to come out for the Crystal, such as the MR cover. It's also better suited for most GPUs out there. High-end VR for everyone, choice and flexibility. 2880 by 2880 pixels at 90 That's it for today. At Pimax, we're always innovating for our users to use the latest technology to bring the highest fidelity in VR or XR as you have it to VR users around the world. Thank you for your support, and please stay with us on this journey together. High-end VR for everyone, choice and flexibility. That's it for today. At Pimax, we're always innovating for our users to use the latest technology to bring the highest fidelity in VR or XR as you have it to VR users around the world.